This is, they can wait. I'm sure your audio is fine. Yeah, if not, I'll.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Friday, February 12th, 2021. It's happy Valentine's Day to everyone for Sunday and happy Lunar New Year to everyone. All right, so in compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using Zoom as an alternative for these hearings. In order to comply with the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, we are not conducting in-person proceedings, but in order to give the public meaningful access to what occurs in public courtrooms, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. No portion of this court hearing may be broadcast or recorded or copied. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. I'd like to remind everyone this is still a court proceeding, so people are expected to be here behaving appropriately for court. This means, please, if you are not an officer of the court, your camera does need to be on. You cannot have moving backgrounds like vehicle or on the jogging trail. Please do not be eating or using the lavatory, taking showers. Please do not be laying in bed. Please don't have moving backgrounds like a ceiling fan behind you. Also, please refrain from having bright lights from behind you, like a lamp or a light or a window, as that tends to shadow out your face. So at this time, I'm going to ask Iris Martinez, Marcus Brooks, please turn your cameras on. You do need to have your camera on to participate here. Marcus Brooks, for the second time, I'm asking you, please turn your camera on for this court proceedings. Thank you. And all these JPD people late today. All right, Mr. Brooks, no one wants to look at your ceiling. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with Amari Brooks. For Brooks, Amari Brooks. All right, we'll go to the next one. Dallas Carter.
Here, Your Honor.
Well,
We're here, Your Honor, with Mr. Brooks.
okay.
Can you see him?
I can now.
Okay, what, sir?
All right, Mr. Brooks, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought, or when you're held here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you're not afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you. Ms. Lakeisha Smith is your appointed attorney. All right, Mr. Brooks. We have Ms. Smith here.
Yeah, what, sir?
I'm looking for Lakeisha Smith. All right, if she's not here, Mr. Adler, I'm going to ask you to substitute in. Mr. Adler, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Amari. So you've been here for 10 days. This is the one where Arlington police officer off duty at the QT. A couple kids got out of the car, hit him with a gun, took his phone, was arrested by Dallas PD. This is caught on surveillance video. When they got out, you had allegedly jumped in the driver's seat, and then when they got back in the car, you drove off. When you were picked up, a gun was found in the vehicle. You're on supervision from Dallas County for unlawfully carrying a weapon, burglary of a vehicle, possession of marijuana, and 2 pending counts of robbery out of Dallas County. And so you are, well, you're level 2. So Amari, I'm not even consider releasing you. All right, and you just turned 14. So, did you have a question for me?
I gotta let you know something about
That doesn't sound like a question. Mr. Brooks, if you have a question, I don't mind answering. If you want to tell me something, your attorney and I both don't want you to talk. The district attorney would love for you to talk, but it's probably not in your best interest. So do you have a question for me, or do you want to talk?
something about my level.
You know what? Do you want me to finish my sentence before you start talking, or do you just want to talk?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
I'm trying to tell you something.
Okay. You do not want to tell me anything. All right. I'm telling you, your attorney is advising you not to tell me anything.
All right.
So try and get your behavior level up, and then we'll review in 10 days.
That's what I'm trying to let you know something about, bro.
All right. First of all, I ain't your bro.
Don't say nothing.
Amari, I ain't your bro. All right. I'm the judge. And if you, this is exactly why you're not level 1-0, because you have a lack
I'm trying
of.
to let you know something. I'm supposed to be.
Amari, Your Honor,
Yes.
I just spoke with them just yesterday, and I was told that he's on level 1 outstanding. He's doing good. No one notified me that his levels have changed and for what. He hasn't been getting in any trouble.
That's what I'm saying. They mistaken me. I'm supposed to be level 1-0, sir. You ain't even let me tell you what happened.
Mari, hush. I got you. Shut up.
I'm still going to detain you. I ain't your bro.
I'm sorry, Mr. Judge.
All right. I'm going to detain him. Dallas Carter. Ms. Perkins, I'm going to ask you not to walk around during these proceedings, and also if you can turn off that ceiling fan. Well, actually, you're not. The ceiling fan's not in the picture anymore. It was earlier, but just as a reminder. Thank you.
I love you, Mari.
Love you, Mari. I love y'all.
Love you.
I love you, Haley.
I love you.
Y'all stop it.
Chris.
I don't know. What do I do? Detain the parents?
I'm not gonna say you look good.
I blame Mr. Adler, Your Honors.
It's clearly, this happens over and over with Mr. Adler's clients.
Even when I'm subbing in.
They didn't happen with Miss Smith here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Mr. Adler shows up and things fall apart.
Thanks, Trent.
I was glad to drop you in the grease, Mr. Adler.
All right, Dallas Carter. We have Dallas Carter here?
He's on, sir.
Yes, sir. That's me.
Where are you, Mr. Carter?
Right here.
All right, y'all in the back, if y'all bring him in, I don't know until you turn the camera on. Okay.
Camera's on, sir.
Well, it is now. All right, Mr. Carter, Judge Kim, this is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Daniels, requested this hearing. Mr. Daniels, for what purpose did you request this hearing?
Your Honor, Mr. Carter asked me if I would request an earlier detention hearing for him. He has attained level 1 at the level 1 outstanding at the first opportunity for him to reach that level, and he has maintained it ever since. He advises me that he's ready to prove that he can do what he's supposed to do, and he's ready to make a change in his life. And so that's why he asked me to go ahead and request an earlier detention hearing for him. I did provide the Zoom link to his mother. His mother is Artisha Lovely. His stepmother is Tanisha Shaw, and I gave both of them the Zoom link. I'm not sure if they're on or not.
No, Miss Lovely's in the waiting room. She showed up late, so I'm not. The parents need to show up on time. I give grace to attorneys and officers of the court because they may be somewhere else. But I mean, she just showed up in the last couple of minutes. So Going with House's case. Colbert, please
Yes.
turn your microphone off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How do you turn this on?
All right, February 2nd. Dallas, you were here in 2017 for an assault bodily injury. Then in July in Dallas County, you were placed on DPP by Dallas County, no, by us for possession of marijuana. It was unsuccessful. It was on January 12th of this year. There were charges for burglary of vehicles and failed to ID as a fugitive. And these were pending when, on February 2nd, see, on February 1st, about 4:45. Ms. Colbert, please turn off your microphone. Ms. Colbert, please mute yourself. And this is the last warning or last request. All right, police got when maintenance workers said 3 juveniles jumped the fence, walked toward the building of a vacant apartment that was broken into a couple days before. They notified the courtesy officer and the manager. When they got in there, they saw 3 juveniles inside. Arlington detained 3 suspects who identified themselves as Ladarian, Jesus, and Corey. The back door had damaged, solid door, deadbolts. There's a shoe print on the door that matched the shoe belonged to Bailey. He said it was his shoe. We looked for further damage, found damage in sheetrock, and brought to Arlington police. And Corey said his true identity was Dallas Carter. So they're brought over here. So on January 12th, about 11 o'clock at night, police were dispatched for a suspicious person. The 2 black males acting suspiciously. They said one person, Dallas, was in the front right passenger seat. And see, I guess when Dallas saw him, he ran towards a wooded area. They found 3 people nearby Shell, and there was a lineup. And the person who said he was Ethan Brown was actually Dallas Carter, and he was a runaway. Four days later, he was referred by Arlington Police Department. People at school, teachers said you smelled like weed, and so there was an administrative search and found a small brown cigar with apparently marijuana in the backpack. And Mr. Daniels, look, I understand that you represent your client. Your client has these requests, but I mean, to a degree, just also you advise your client. I mean, these are not hair appointments. Like, I'm not blaming you, Keith, not at all. I understand you have your job, but these kids seem to think that just because they get to level 1-0, they're automatically granted a pass to get out, and all they're doing is wasting my time. This is a kid that had pending cases for an offense, picked up the exact same offense. In between the 2 exact same offenses, also brings weed to school. So while he's on DPP, he's committing evidently new offenses and smoking weed. It's not, level 1-0 doesn't get you out from that. It's not like a free pass in life. And so, Keith, I'm not hostile towards you at all. I just don't understand why these kids back here think that they just get to level 1-0 and all is forgiven, because it's not. Look, Dallas, you need to prove to me over a period of time that you can behave. You need to get to level 1-0 and keep it level 1-0. This is not a hair appointment that you're like, whenever you get it, you're just gonna get in front of the judge whenever you want. I see your hand is raised. I'm letting you know nothing you can say is gonna change my mind on this one. So do you have a question for me?
Yes, sir. With the dates, like the dates are kind of like they're messed up. And then one of the charges that wasn't even like they said we matched the description, but it wasn't me that was in the car. Even the police officer that said it and the lady that pulled up had said it. And
so what's your question?
Cause I understand that
No, what's your question?
can I get released on the monitor? Because
No, I'm not going to release you because you get arrested for fail to ID and you're caught in another person's in a vacant apartment damaging it. I'm inclined not to release you until your parents pay the restitution back for the damage of the apartment that you were in.
yes, sir.
It doesn't even matter whether you did the damage or not, the fact that you're in there. That's where I'm going with this. You don't get to level 1 and get out of here when you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're telling me that you haven't learned.
No, yes, sir. Look, I'm saying I have to pay it. It's because I did it. So I was going to get a job. I'm
All
turning.
right. Well, if you did it, then you pay it. But this is exactly why I told you, don't tell me anything. If you have a question, ask me. You have a district attorney right now taking notes saying that Dallas Carter just admitted that he did it.
I did it.
Dallas, you don't need to be making statements. The judge asked you if you had any questions. If you want to tell somebody something, you need to tell me and I can call you and we can talk about that.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dallas, I mean, you're level 1-0, good, but you're supposed to be level 1-0. You don't get rewarded for doing what you're supposed to do. You get to level 1-0, you prove to me that I don't have to worry about you. If I release you, then I release you. But
You don't. I promise. I swear to God, I'm not gonna do the same thing. I've learned my mistakes. I want to have a good life. I don't want to keep coming into this place. I don't want to keep getting into trouble. I just need a chance to show you, sir. Please.
One day you will get the chance. Today's not that day.
Sir, please.
I mean, I'm not sure if you didn't hear me before when I told you I've already made my decision. Nothing you can say is going to change my mind. So next on Charisma Carter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Again, Mr. Daniels, I'm not upset. I understand the position you're in. I'm not blaming you for that at all. It's just I'm frustrated by these kids with these expectations they have.
I understand.
So.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Carter, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Craven, is here. Good morning, Ms. Craven.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, Charisma, see, you're 17 years old. The Wise County Sheriff brought you in on a DTA. Your EM had a tamper alert. Mom said that you were not in the home. You cut off your EM. You were found in Decatur and transported here. And you're in company of 2 adult males and using drugs. So we brought you in. And you were tested positive for methamphetamine. So Judge Porter, on January 29th, you were there. Hey, can you go out and tell them to keep that baby quiet? So there's a motion to modify hearing. Judge Porter released you on electronic monitor to do inpatient at Phoenix House. And you're supposed to go to Phoenix House yesterday, but due to the weather, it had to be rescheduled. Your new appointment date is February 16th. You have a history of running away and drug use, including a history of overdosing. All right. Hey, Charisma, look, I actually want to treat you respect. You're almost 18, so I'm just trying to treat you with a little respect. Look, flat out, I'm worried if I let you go, you're gonna cough. You've already burned me once with cutting off the EM, right? So I'm worried that if I let you go, waiting for a bed at Phoenix House, you cut off the monitor, run off again. I think you have resources in the community on how to survive, right, without your parents. I'm just really worried about the situation you're in, which is why you're going to Phoenix House, okay? So, you know, I'm going to detain you. There's not a whole lot of conversation other than I just want to show you the respect and the courtesy of explaining why I'm doing this decision. So you don't just walk out of the room saying what happened. At least I'm not asking you to agree with me, or I'm not asking you to say that I'm right. I'm just asking you to understand what I'm thinking. Does that make sense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I hope you go to Phoenix House. I hope you get what you can out of it, and then we can move on. You know, you can move on with your life. Okay, so right now I got to detain you, but that's only because you ran away. You cut off your EM on me before, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, but Charisma, I know you're level 1 outstanding. I appreciate you that you are. You've held it for 2 weeks. Thank you. It's just sometimes your past catches up with you, and this is one of those times. Okay. Yeah, you have a question?
Hey, can my attorney say something?
Yes. Ms. Craven?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Carter would like to go home and be at home with her mom on a monitor waiting for Tuesday. She feels like this is a chance she can make a change, and her mother is present today to welcome her home for a couple of days till she goes to treatment. She can pick up clothes, etc. And my client would just like the opportunity to go home pending this transfer to Phoenix since she couldn't go yesterday.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes, Your Honor.
why couldn't she go yesterday? Is because of the weather?
Yes.
And she's been level 1 outstanding since January 28th.
Yes.
And how far down has she dropped?
She's been back and forth between level 1O and 1A the entire time she's been in detention.
So she's never dropped to level 2?
No.
I'm sorry? No, because they transferred. She doesn't have, does she have to be in quarantine to go to Phoenix House?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Thomas, will she need to be in quarantine if she goes home?
No, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Ms. Craven. No, she doesn't.
Okay. Ma'am, are you comfortable and willing to take your daughter home today and get her to Phoenix House on Tuesday?
Yes.
At what, 10 o'clock?
Yes, she will not leave my side.
And if it's
Charisma.
snowing?
Charisma, look, a lot of times in life you make a bad decision. That bad decision can linger and haunt you for years and years and years, okay? That's the way life works. It's just one bad decision can have an effect that lasts for the rest of your life. However, you can make a bad decision that will follow you, but the way you get past that is you show over a period of time and be consistent about doing the right thing and prove, not by one instance, but by consistent behavior, that you've become a different person, okay?
Yes, Your
You've been
Honor.
here for 42 days.
Yes,
I
sir.
think you've shown me that you've been very consistent in your behavior. I realized that you not going to Phoenix House yesterday was not your fault. It wasn't our fault. It had to do with the weather, right? And I don't want to punish you for something that was beyond your control or anybody else's control, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and release an electronic monitor to your mom so you can go to Phoenix House. But if you don't go to Phoenix House, all that you've done the last 42 days goes to waste. You know that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so take the good things you've done, take the bad things you've done and learn from them. Take the good things you've done and build on them. All right?
Oh, I will, Honor.
All right. Thank you, Charisma.
Good luck.
Alejandro Guajardo. Hello, Alejandro. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought into our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And Mr. Sierra is your attorney, but he's not able to make it, so Mr. Adler is going to go ahead and substitute in. Good morning, Mr. Adler. Mr. Adler.
Good morning, Judge. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. All right, so Alejandro, let's see, you're 14 years old. You came in last June for aggravated deadly weapon, for which you got deferred prosecution for. And then 4 days after the aggravated assault deadly weapon, you were brought in for assault bodily injury, which you also got deferred prosecution for. So now, see, this looks like on Wednesday, Arlington Police brought you in. They were dispatched to a domestic at about 9:15. Police talked to mom, said she was threatened and assaulted by Alejandro, who left the home. She said you became upset when she told you you're not allowed to go outside because it was too cold. She said that you pushed her in the chest with both hands and kicked her 2 times. She said she locked herself in the bedroom to avoid conflict and that you used a kitchen knife to pick the lock. And you made a fake lunging motion at her and raised the knife over her head. She says she did not feel threatened or in fear when you did this. She declined a family violence packet. She contacted an officer an hour later to report that you returned home. You admitted to pushing your mom and kicking your mom and trying to scare mom but not hurt her with a knife. And so do we have a mom here?
Yes, Your Honor. She's Iris Martinez.
It's Ms. Martinez.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we are. All right. Look, this is what it looks like to me, Ms. Martinez, and I don't know if this is true or not. This is just what it looks like to me. It looks like that you're just trying to protect your son and keep him from getting in trouble with the law. In the meantime, what it looks like, what actually happens, if that is true, is you're just enabling your son. You're empowering him to break the law more and to threaten more, and he'll go from abusing women that are in his household to abusing women that are not in his household. So I see this pattern of behavior that I truly believe I need to detain him to protect you from him because you're unable to protect yourself. I may be wrong, but that's just what it looks like with the repeated behavior and your refusal to cooperate with the police. And so I don't know if there's other things going on. Does your son have a history of mental illness?
Yes, sir.
He does, okay. When's the last time you saw a doctor?
Well, he just have a month and 2 weeks with me. He went down with his dad for a couple of months, and then he just got in trouble over there and just came back with me. And I had barely had a survey with the MHMR because he's always been on MHMR.
So Iris, I just asked a question. When's the last time you saw a doctor?
He hasn't seen a doctor here with me. I don't know if over there in the valley.
When's the last time you saw a doctor?
I don't know, Judge.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and refer a psychiatric evaluation for your son to see if there's other stuff going on. And if so, we can find out if you need. So you've never been on medication before, correct?
He's on medication.
Oh, so who prescribed the medication?
It's MHMR on South Texas.
Okay. When did they prescribe that medication?
He was diagnosed with ADHD, and since he was 4 years old, he's always been on that medication. And then as he grew up, I believe he was diagnosed with what is it? It's like for his anger management or something like that.
So do you have his medication?
Mood disorders. I don't have the medication. Grandpa and mother and grandmother said they didn't have him no more. So that's why I was making appointments here to get him back with his medication.
So when's the last time he's had his medication?
Since he came with me, it was a month and 2 weeks. He hasn't had any medication. He was taking medications over with dad and grandma.
So
it's been like a
month. You
month.
knew he was prescribed medication, but for 6 weeks, you haven't done anything about it?
Like I tell you, Judge, I was making the appointments with MHMR, but they're taking a time. I don't know what's going on with them, but they go by step by steps with a survey, and then they go. And
so when did you start this process?
I called MHMR. They said they were gonna reach me back.
Again, when did you start the process?
It was like 2 weeks back.
Okay, so there's a month that you had him knowing that he's not taking his medication, and you waited a month before you called MHMR?
Yeah, and I called them, but like I tell you, they took long to get back with me to do the survey.
But you only called them a couple of weeks ago.
No, I called them like once he got here, but they took long to reach me back.
Okay. All right, Iris. Well, either way, I'm gonna get him a psych referral so we can see he can see a doctor here and see if there's any issues that we can help with from here. Alejandro, I'm not gonna release you. I think your mom's enabling you, right? So that's what it looks like from here. I hope I'm wrong. I could very well be wrong. I'm just based on what I see from this report. So Alejandro, don't talk to him. Talk to me. All right. Do you have a question for me?
Sir?
You have a question?
Yes.
What's your question?
Why am I not able to get out?
Because I feel like if I let you go, you're gonna hit your mom again.
No, I'm just trying to change. I promise I'll go back to my dad. That's my goal. I'm trying to go back to my dad's.
So here's the thing, Alejandro. You think that you get to decide where you live. You think you call the shots here. You don't.
No, it's not that.
You don't. You understand that you would need my permission to go to your dad? You can't make that decision.
No, I know, I understand, but I'm just trying to change my life, you know? I don't even mean to do that to her. I mean, she got me back because she was talking bad about
Hold
my
on,
dad.
Alejandro,
Judge,
stop talking.
Judge, can I have him not talk, please?
Yeah, stop talking. This is not about whether you did or not. This is about detaining you or releasing you. If I was releasing you, I don't want you to go to South Texas because you have to stay in Tarrant County. Your mom's here in Tarrant County. I don't want you going to your mom because I think you're gonna hit your mom again.
Sir, just
Okay?
please can you give me at least one more
No.
chance?
I don't know. See, this is the problem, Alejandra. You, with your mom, evidently ask for chance after chance, and she always gives you a chance. This is what I'm talking about enabling. I'm here telling you bad news, and you can't accept bad news. You know what, Alejandro? Obviously, you have a problem accepting disappointment. So that's one thing you just have. That's part of growing up is you have to accept and learn to accept disappointment. And so this is a decision that I've made. You're not going to talk your way out of this. You've made it clear based on your pattern of behavior that I think that you're not in a good situation.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir.
Well, hold on. This is not about that. This is about what I'm seeing your pattern of behavior. You had the opportunity to straighten up. It looks like you didn't. I need to protect your mom from you.
Sir, I'm sorry.
This is why I'm detaining you.
Can I talk to my mom?
Young man,
No,
please stop talking. Please. Don't
Please
say another
listen.
word.
Please
Don't
listen
say
to your
another word.
attorney. Listen to Mr. Adler. He's a good attorney. He's not going to do you wrong. All right? Okay, so I'm detaining
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. All right, Brian Hemphill. Oh, okay. Hey, we have somebody from the sheriff here?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, this is Victor Alvarado. His attorney gave us late notice that they waived this hearing.
Okay.
So we will not need this inmate.
All right, sir, we'll take him back.
Sheriff, thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, Brian Hemphill. All right, Mr. Hemphill, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. Once you're here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is Ms. Herrick. Good morning, Ms. Herrick.
Good morning.
All right, so Brian, you're 16 years old. You've been here for like 6 months now. So I issued a warrant for you in August for cutting off your electronic monitor. And you were arrested at home without incident. Since you were brought here, there were additional cases for murder and aggravated robbery that were brought in. So let's see, in July, you had 4 EM violations. And then in August, you cut off the monitor. And after you were told that you have to charge your monitor, and you have pending court for 2 counts of aggravated robbery, credit card abuse, burglary of a vehicle, and yeah, this is the one where you said your brother kicked your electronic monitor off twice. You had to get restrapped. So we had been having problems. You hadn't been in school, and your mom didn't take you to substance abuse treatment. You didn't do in-home substance abuse counseling. And so, yeah, at this point, you're level 2. You have do not associates back here that you keep on violating. Earlier this month, you were in level 3, confined. You're accepted at Lake Granbury, but because of the seriousness of the murder offense, they're refusing to take you. So, Emily, mom is saying that you are relaying death threats, or people are relaying death threats to her and you by phone and social media. All right, let me get this straight. So we had a certification hearing set on February 17th.
So last time we talked about, Your Honor, you indicated that that was sort of a placeholder date, but that was probably going to be the motion to modify hearing. And in fact, there's a psychological evaluation to be done on the 19th. The 16th? The 19th. Yes, okay. And so we won't get those results back until after that. So we're planning on having the certification hearing after that.
So do we need the psychological?
It is the discretionary transfer psychological, Your Honor, so that is needed for the certification.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. All right.
And I would certainly want it anyway.
I'm sorry?
I would want it anyway.
Right. All right. Well, Brian, at this point, I'm not sure how much more you can make it worse for yourself, but apparently you are finding new ways. So we don't have a parent here, do we? Oh, no. Brittany Hemphill's in the waiting room. Again, she showed up late as well. So, all right. So, Brian, yeah, you're not helping yourself. Help yourself. Help your attorney at least. Don't make her job harder. You know, but at this point, yeah, I'm not going to release you if you're not level 1 outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Hemphill.
Thank you, Your
Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Herrick. Thank you, Ms. Smiley. Good. Ethan Hernandez. All right, Mr. Hernandez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's in here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, we'll provide one for you. So, Ethan, you're 16 years old. You're currently level 1 outstanding. You have been for almost a week and a half. So, for Arlington PD brought you in for unlawfully carrying a weapon. Arlington Police gang unit was patrolling an area where there were shootings between 2 groups. Saw some people they recognized. Both were stopped, and both were found in possession of firearms. And they're both found with a 9mm handgun with a round in each magazine. So you referred, this happened while you had a pending case for burglary of a building. This is over at Owens Auto Sales. So security company said there were 3 suspects inside the fenced area looking at vehicles. And police officer arrived. They took off running. They said a 3rd person was hiding near a black SUV. And so the police came up and found him. You're released to your grandmother. So you had a pending case, you got picked up with a gun, and you're positive for weed.
Your Honor.
Yes?
Previous to this, he has no history with the department. And again, he has been on level 1 since February 1st. His mom's here and she doesn't work and she can supervise him constantly. So.
Yeah, but Mom, are you here?
Yes.
So my thing, like the other stuff I'm not as worried about, but the gun, that really worries me. Right? So, but we don't know where the gun came from, right?
Yes.
Like the last thing you want to do is the police show up to your house because your son got shot. So.
You understand?
No. I can barely.
Your Honor, can Ms. Aguirre translate for you so Mom can understand?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Gary.
Yes, Your Honor.
You remember what I said?
No, Your Honor, will you please repeat that?
Oh, asking her if she knows where the gun came from. The gun is my concern. The last thing I want to see is the police going to her house because her son got shot.
Señora, ¿usted sabe dónde sacó el arma Ethan?
Hasta donde yo sé, un amigo de Ethan se lo dio para que lo llevara, lo transportara a otro domicilio porque lo andaban buscando al amigo de Ethan. Y se lo dio y le iba a pagar $20 hasta donde yo sé, porque yo en mi casa no les acepto pistolas para nada. Eso no está en mi casa.
Your Honor, she says that Ethan allegedly got the firearm from a friend, but she does not allow firearms in her home.
Yeah, but how do we keep him from getting another gun?
¿Cómo vas a supervisar Ethan para saber que no agarra armas otra vez?
Yo lo voy a estar supervisando más seguido. Me voy a cambiar de turno en el trabajo para estar más con él.
She's going to monitor him more closely, Your Honor, possibly change her work schedule so she can monitor him more closely.
Yeah, Mr. Mason, those are just very generic answers, right? I mean,
Well, one thing she did say that wasn't translated is that he was transporting the gun and he was paid $20 and he was paid money to do that. And so I was trying to wonder why, why he's being a mule for a gun, but like I said before, he really has no history until November, and then suddenly he's got 2 charges. So
¿Puedo decir algo?
Your Honor, she would like to ask a question.
yes.
No, solo quiero decir que Ethan tiene un amigo que estaba en mi casa 2, 3 días, 4 días, 5 días, and he's not allowed to go to my house no more. Porque yo pienso que las malas compañías, yo antes no tenía problemas con él, pero las malas compañías fueron los que le llevaron al niño a cometer esto que estaba haciendo.
Your Honor, it's not a question. She just wanted to let you know that he has had a friend over there for several days and that he is not allowed there anymore at her residence.
He's not allowed to go to my house no more.
So can you ask the mom if she knows where the marijuana is coming from?
Señora, ¿usted sabe dónde sacó la marihuana?
Ni idea.
She has no idea, Your Honor.
Pero sí me gustaría que si el niño lo está haciendo, sí me gustaría que poderlo llevar a un programa donde le ayudaran a sacarlo, si es lo que está haciendo.
Your Honor, she said she would like Ethan to go to a program possible for substance abuse counseling if needed.
Yeah, so you can tell mom programs don't work for marijuana use. It's just his choice.
Pues no, él no quiere que haga programas para marihuana porque sigue usando marihuana.
it'd be better if you didn't say anything right now.
Yeah, Ethan, if you have a question, you can ask it, but your attorney and I both don't want you to tell me anything, right? Mr. Mason, here's my problem. Like, if he's there just carrying a gun for somebody else, I don't understand how he and his buddy would have 1 cartridge each, right? I mean, that doesn't, who's going to give a gun to somebody else? It's either going to be empty or loaded, right? But the fact that they had 1 each, and this is in an area where they've just been shooting between groups. Ms. Aguirre, like, so he is identified as a gang member?
And I need to double check on the information if he is a confirmed gang member.
Well, I'm going to do this, actually, Mr. Mason, just to let you know. Look, if he's not a confirmed gang member, I'll release him on electronic monitor to his mom. If he is a confirmed gang member, I'm not going to. All right, so Ms. Aguirre, if you can go ahead and call forward PD and verify if he's, or Arlington PD, but if he's running with a gang, and it doesn't even have to be like has tattoos or whatever, but if he's got contacts with the police where he's with the same gang, I'm not comfortable yet. Not when the shootings are going on and he's got a loaded weapon. All right, so Ethan, this goes back to, what's that saying? If you sleep with dogs, you're gonna get fleas. All right? So if you made a whole bunch of associations, run with a clique, and you're affiliated with gangs, then it's coming back and hurting you. But if you haven't, there's just a one-time thing and you're wrong place, wrong time, then you get to go home. All right? All right, so Ms. Aguirre, can you just let me know, I don't know, after the hearing?
Yes, Judge, will do.
All right.
Hey, Selena, will you explain that to mom too, please?
Sí, el juez dice que si Ethan está en una pandilla, si el policía dice que está en una pandilla, no puede salir de detención. Pero si ellos dicen que no está en una pandilla, sí puede salir de detención. Y voy a hablar a la policía para preguntar.
Okay.
Get back with you, Miss Aguirre, too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Masek. All right, so security control, just to let you know, Aaliyah Jenkins is next. We're gonna go out of order. Can y'all bring Caleb Olds for the one after Aaliyah Jenkins? We've got another court asking us to bump him, Mr. Hall up. All right, Ms. Jenkins. Aaliyah Jenkins. Aaliyah Jenkins.
Right here, Judge Kim.
Okay. All right, Leah, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Barrows, is here. Good morning, Ms. Barrows. I thought I saw her earlier.
Hello.
No? Okay, I guess she's not here. Mr. Adler is going to go ahead and substitute. Good morning, Mr. Adler.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so this is the 4 kids with the off-duty Arlington police officer that were arrested for the aggravated robbery. There were 3 males, 1 female. So let's see. When they stopped at the pump, Keith got out, struck the victim. Aaliyah had the gun. All right, that's enough for me. Aaliyah, you have to understand that whenever kids have guns and they're picked up for a crime, I'm very slow to release them. You have to show me good behavior over an extended period of time that I feel like is safe to release to the community. You are level 1 outstanding. You've had it for several days now. I'm glad. That's just a start. You have to make me comfortable. I have a big problem with kids with guns. All right? So
Judge.
keep up the good work. You are on the right path, but it doesn't come easy. All right?
Judge.
Yeah, so if you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something? You want to tell me something, your attorney does not want you to speak.
Judge, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this morning prior to the detention hearing that Dallas County has received the referral as well for aggravated robbery on Aaliyah.
Oh, for a separate case.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, then it's a good thing I didn't release her before. So at this point, Aaliyah, you've got to prove to me that it's safe to release you, and your past acts can come back and haunt you, just so you know. All right? All right. Thank you, Aaliyah.
Thank you, Judge.
I got
Thank
you.
you.
I love you. They're your sisters. I love you. Love you, baby.
No, stop. This is not a visitation. All right? Mom, don't ever do that again. Mom, sit down.
Over.
Do not walk away while I'm talking.
I thought you said it was over. I apologize. I thought you were standing by for her to leave. I apologize.
Yes, this is not a visitation. This is, if it's done, it's done. You can't go back and forth and say, hi, I love you, bye.
Okay, no
All right.
problem. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, sir.
Caleb Olds. Is this Caleb?
He's walking in, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, Mr. Holt.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Holtz. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When kids brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And Mr. Hall has been appointed as your attorney. All right, Caleb, you're 17 years old. So evidently, August 1st, your birthday is September. So about a month before your birthday, Bedford police were dispatched to the CVS parking lot. I think I remember this one in the news. All right, 2 females were driven there where they met with 2 black males selling them Puff King vape cigarettes. 2 black males arrived in a silver car. One of them got out of his car, entered the rear driver's side of the female, taking a seat behind her. He demanded to see the cartridges. She demanded to see the money first, which got the male upset. So he struck, please turn that radio off. He struck Madison in the side of the head with a pistol, then shot her in the neck. He got back to his car and fled the area. So she was transported to Baylor Grapevine, where she was pronounced dead. The other passengers said that Madison made arrangements with 2 suspects on Snapchat to sell 15 THC cartridges. The shooter was described as dark-skinned male, 170 pounds, wearing a do-rag and blue medical mask, and black Nike slides. She said the male who stayed in the suspect car is light-skinned black man with curly blonde hair that looked to be dyed. There were 3 phones in Madison's car belonging to her, and Madison provided a description of the 3 phones. It said the shooter had a phone that was in a clear case. A search warrant for her car. During the search, 3 phones belonging to Madison Electra were found and a white Apple iPhone on a clear case lying in the rear floorboard. So there's a search warrant for all 4 phones. During the search, there was a conversation shortly before the 911 call between Madison and an individual with the username Little Bitty Whore. The suspect's phone was registered to evidently Stillwater's Consulting that had listed address of your grandmother. And I guess the display name on Snapchat was Yari. Turned out that your middle name is Kenyari. So the search warrant for T-Mobile data showed Caleb's mother purchased the phone and clear cover on July 30th in Irving. Video footage from the inside the store showed black female, 2 black males enter the store. Detective recognized you from a previous mugshot. When they got out, you were holding the new phone with a clear case and wearing black Nike slides. Tracked the phone, showed it was in Arlington. And then it showed on that date, reached a crime scene at 6:10. And the witness looked at the photo lineup, but wasn't able to identify you or recognize the other 5 placebos. So the search warrant was issued based on the Little Bitty Whore account, and your photos were in there, and there was a tattoo that matches your tattoo. So, let's see. Interrogation, and said that a friend drove you to McDonald's, dropped him off in Arlington. 2 people came by. Your phone was missing after it came home. So friend came back so you could find your home, couldn't find it. And the other 2 people in the car were not with your friend. So you told your mom about the phone. She reported to T-Mobile and insurance replaced it. And evidently the McDonald's that you went to did not have any video footage of you being there. So there's a warrant issued for your arrest. You were previously here for, let's look at your history. You were 15 with a stolen car case, burglary of a vehicle. 2 weeks later, you get out, another burglary of a vehicle. You turn 16 with stolen credit cards, burglary of a vehicle, stolen vehicle, evading arrest with a vehicle. Now when you come in, you're positive for marijuana. You are currently on probation too. You're arrested in Dallas County for another stolen car.
Those charges were dropped, I think.
Could have been. I just said you were arrested. All right, Caleb. Well, it looks like this happened right before your 17th birthday. So that's why you're in the juvenile court. I'm going to find that there is probable cause that you committed the offense of capital murder. All right. And so that doesn't mean you did it. I'm just finding probable cause. Do we have a parent here?
Present, Your Honor.
Okay. Hello, Mom. All right. So, Mom, I don't know how much information you just found out now or not, but from what I see on this report, it's pretty disturbing. But at this point, my decision, if there's probable cause, I have to decide to release your son or not. It's going to be based on whether he's a danger to himself or to others, or whether he's likely to appear at court or not. And so I'm going to find that based on the offense and his history, that he would be a danger to himself or to others. And so I'm going to go and detain him. All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hull. All right, Mr. Lofton, Mr. Adler has a conflict with another court. Can I ask you to cover for our cover guy?
Most definitely for Mr. Adler.
Mr. Adler.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. That makes Mr. Lofton
Thank
third
you.
string today.
Mr. Adler is much more effective, in my opinion, when he is in his office at juvenile than where he is now. Oh, I didn't know you were still there, but yes, sir. Thank you.
I thank you all.
Judge, who are we doing next?
It will be Kendrick Giles. We'll go back to the normal order, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Morning.
Mr. Giles, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Miss Lothorpe. I'm sorry, Mr. Mulder's hired as your attorney. Thank you. We went out of order. And so, all right, Mr. Mulder is here as your attorney. All right, Mr. Jones, you were on probation you had a pending case for robbery.
No,
You brought in a warrant.
Judge, I think you're one off.
I'm sorry, Jatavius Jones. Yeah, I'm looking at Kendrick Giles. That one? Do you have it? There's no case left because it's, oh, here it is. I found it. All right, there we go. Let's see, Mr. Giles, you're 16 years old. Oh, this is the Good Samaritan case in Grapevine. Right? Traffic accident, Good Samaritan got him out, put him in his car. He said you took his car, drove off, South Lake Police had to get K9 units. You are level 1 outstanding, have been since January 31st. You've been in for over 6 months. This is Dana here, Mr. Victorson?
No, Your Honor, this is Selena Aguita. I'm covering for Officer Vickerson.
Okay. So is he currently on probation or he just has a bunch of pending cases?
He has pending cases, Your Honor.
Okay. So the probation replacement for theft of firearm in 2019, that's expired, correct?
Yes.
And then, but that was his second theft of firearm case. He's had a evading arrest from 2018, evading arrest of the motor vehicle, evading arrest on foot in 2018. Multiple history of runaway. Yeah, Mr. Mulder, I mean, I appreciate your position, but this is a period of years. This goes back almost 4 years now of running away, stealing cars, stealing weapons, drugs, running from the police. Yeah, Mr. Mulder, I mean, I appreciate your position, but I honestly believe that if I was to let Kendrick go, that he would just either use drugs again, run from the police again, or steal things again.
Well, let me just say that the 6 months that he has been confined, definitely you have his undivided attention, Judge.
Mr. Giles, your hand is raised. If you want to tell me something, I don't want you to say anything, all right?
It's not, sir.
If you want to ask me a question, I'm happy to answer a question.
I understand that I have a lot of like.
Oh, when you say I'm just saying, that's not a question.
I said I understand that where you're coming from, sir. But
that's still not a question, though.
I know. Okay, so what I'm asking is to prove myself. Can I get a home pass to prove myself that I am worthy of coming back and that I will not run? I feel like if we start off something small, we can make our way to something big. I'm not asking you just to release me straight. I'm just asking for a home pass.
Like a furlough.
Yeah. All right, so Mr. Gary, can you look? How far did he drop on his behavior level?
Your Honor, the last time he was on level 2 acceptable was January 28th.
For what?
And that was for not following instructions, talking without permission, ×5, and arguing with a peer.
When was the last time he was at level 3?
That was November 16th of 2020, Your Honor, for a physical altercation.
Kendrick, I'm not quite there yet. I mean, you're here now at level 1, but this is, and this is just me being straight up with you. You've shown a pattern of behavior over years and years of you behaving a certain way, and then I'm not the kind of person that thinks just after a couple months that you flip a switch like that, not when you've shown this behavior for so long. I mean, this is going on since 2017, right? February of 2017, so 4 full years, right? I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about everything that's going on here, and it takes time. If you do something long enough in a certain way, then you have to prove yourself in a different way long enough to convince others. And so I'm not like your parents that is eternally hopeful that you will just one day wake up and it's done. I need you to prove to me that you've changed. Right? So I see your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, I'll answer it. If you want to say something, don't say it. Okay. So
I have 2 questions.
Okay, what's your question?
So the first question, are we ever going to get to a point where I can work and prove myself?
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. But you have to understand, getting in fights and then not following instructions and being disruptive, that's not proven to me. I'm not looking for 2 weeks of behavior. Sometimes I look for a couple months of behavior, consistent behavior.
Yeah, I understand the problem part, but sir, I was assaulted twice.
Oh, hold on. Now you're not asking me a question. You're telling me something.
Kendrick, I'll call you later today and we'll talk about this.
All right, and the second question is, actually, I forgot. Never mind. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Giles. All right. Jatavius Jones. Thank you, Mr. Mulder.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm really aggravated with the parents. I think what gets under my skin is enabling parents. That's what gets me more than anything else. We're ready for Mr. Jones.
He's on the screen, Your Honor.
Yes. Oh, there we are. Hello, Mr. Jones. I'm Judge Kim. When a kid's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You know, a foreign attorney will provide one for you. Ms. Lothrop has been appointed. However, she is unavailable today. Mr. Lofton is going to substitute.
Morning.
Good morning. All right, so Mr. Jones, let's go to this one. You're 14 years old, and you had a case out of here for robbery back in November. Let's see, police were dispatched a robbery call, talked to the victim and to Jatavius, and you told the police that the victim owed your sister's boyfriend some money and that you were getting it from him. The victim said that Jatavius and his friend were always asking him for drugs and money, and that you had some cash and you snatched it because he was afraid of being assaulted. So police returned the money to the victim. You were arrested. You had a warrant out of Bossier City for person acting and resisting. And Bossier City PD is aware that you have your case here, and this juvenile case will have to be resolved before your Bossier City case can be addressed. So, and you are related to Roger Jones. So your probation officer seems to think it's appropriate to release you on electronic monitor. This time you're brought in. According to mom, you're starting to misbehave and disrespect her rules, and your school performance is going down. So, Mr. Nava, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, let me ask: if I release him, then there's a warrant out of Bossier, right? So, wouldn't he have to go to Louisiana?
Well, Your Honor, you did release him beforehand with the same knowledge, but now that he has a case filed, once his whatever ends up happening with this case, then we'll let Interstate Compact know, and we'll be in contact with Louisiana.
Okay. Okay, so they just don't want to execute the warrant until after this case is done?
That's correct. That's what I was told by my supervisor.
All right, so Mom, let's have this conversation. Tell me about his attitude.
He has an okay attitude. It's just when it's time to go to school, it's always, oh, my mom feel like it. I'm like,
Okay. So school's the issue? He's just not going to school?
he goes, but it's like he always have a problem with going. Like I always have to get up, you know.
No, Mom, no. I'm glad. I remember you from the previous detention hearing. I remember I really liked you. You and I think we're not very different people. So, Mr. Jones, I'm going to spell this out for you, is that you need to go to school. So I'm just detaining you for you to go to school. Here's the thing. If you're not going to school and participating and engaging, then your behavior level drops. You can't get to level 1.0. You can't get out of here. But if you get to level 1.0, that means you're going to school. And that means I know you know how to go to school and do what you're supposed to do. That lets me release you to your mom. Okay, so Mom, he is going to go. We have one of the Fort Worth ISD campuses here in our building. All right, so he is going to go to school here. If he refuses to go, refuses to participate, then his behavior points will drop and he'll just won't get out. So he can prove to me. Now, if he can't, he's just unable to learn, then there's other mental health issues, and we can address those before he leaves here. That way, I'm sorry?
He do have medication.
Yeah. Did you bring the medication with you?
I didn't bring it.
Okay. I need you to go home and bring back the medication so we can get it. Is he in 504 right now?
Yeah, he's in.
Okay. Yeah, and we have accommodations for that as well, for 504. All right. So, but at this point, your son, he needs to show us either he can go to school or he can't. And if he can't, we'll get him to a doctor. If he can, then I'm going to release him to you, and he needs to behave with you too. All right. So yes, Mr. Jones, you have a question for me? Okay.
I do.
Yes, Mom.
Well, since, I talked to the PO and I told him, I just wanted him to stay here at least a day until he said it's going to be fine and he was going to let him come home. And I'm just asking.
So, Mom.
I just want my baby.
No, I know you do. I really do. All right. Remember last time we had this conversation, I said, you and I are going to work together for your son, and there's certain things you can do, certain things I can do, but we got to work together to do what's best for your son. All right. And that's where we're at now. There is no doubt in my mind that you love him and want him home and don't want him here. Okay. And this is one of the hardest things that you've had to do. But I hope you understand that I don't want him here either. I just want him to go to school and respect you. Mr. Jones, you have to understand, I don't expect that much from you. I expect you to go to school and respect your mom. That's all I want you to do. All right. And if you can't do that, then you and I have to deal with each other. Mr. Jones, do you have a question?
I'll give one more try, please.
Oh, no, I'll give you a try. You just have to earn it though. Right. Let me tell you the big difference between me and your mom. Your mom loves you and will forgive you every chance she has because she's your mom, and that's what moms do. All right. As the judge, that's not my job. Right. I'm not here to forgive you. I'm here to give mercy to the people that show that they deserve mercy. Show me that you deserve another chance. I'll give you another chance. But you got to earn it. You don't just get it. You understand? That's the way it works with the law and with judges and with courts. Okay. Show me. Give me a reason to say, you know what, Mr. Jones needs to go back home and goes back to his regular school program because he's shown me he can do it here. Then I'll let you go home. All right. Yes, Mr. Jones?
It ain't a problem about my school, just the way I got to get to school. It's like, you seen the weather outside.
All right. Mr. Jones, this does not happen just because of one day. All right. And I think your mom is sugarcoating it about you being disrespectful to her. I think you're a lot more disrespectful than she's let me know. I think she's trying to give you a pass and make it seem better to me since I'm making the decision. But I know that you're not treating your mom with the respect that she deserves. Okay? And that's why I want to see your behavior level here. Earn it. Earn it. I do not want you here, not for this type of offense. Earn it, and then you go home. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Jatavius. Zachariah Marshall.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Reyes.
It's Friday, so.
It's Friday.
Valentine's.
Yes, you have big plans for your esposa?
Not todavía, no, not yet. Working on it.
What if she's watching us right now?
Hey, I don't think she is. That's why I have the freedom to speak up and say, no, I don't think she is.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Marshall, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And Ms. Keenan is your appointed attorney. So this is Northern Cross Unit. So this is the Uber Eats driver, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
No petition has been filed as of yet, and
Okay.
we don't know what they're going to do.
That clock is ticking. And then January 25th, you failed to show up for a drug test. And so before we get a warrant, we found out that you're arrested for the capital murder of that Uber Eats driver. Well, Ms. Keenan, is there anything that I'm missing? Anything new information?
No new information, Your Honor, just that, like I said, no petition has been filed at this time.
All right, that's
Nor do we know where it's going.
Sure. Mr. Marshall, I'll be honest, even without the new offense, when you're on probation, you fail to show up for a drug test. And then when we bring you in and we give you a drug test and you're positive for weed, I'm keeping you at least for a little while. Okay. So I see your level 1 outstanding. Do the best with what you have. I'm glad you are. We don't have a parent for Mr. Marshall, do we? Ms. Coles, you are? Okay, you're on mute, but that's all right. So I just want to mark down that you were here. All right, so Mr. Marshall, your level 1 outstanding, keep that up. You're actually helping your attorney, believe it or not. If you're level 3, you actually make her job a whole lot harder. All right, so Mr. Marshall, for now, I'm going to detain you, okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Reyes.
You have a happy Valentine's as well.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, happy Lunar New Year. All right.
May I be excused as well?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith, I see that you're here. Your child was the very first one today. And so I think you missed. No,
Your Honor, I was actually logged on, I believe, at 10:29. I wasn't let in until 10:37. I don't know how that works, but I was actually on time, so I do apologize about that.
Don't apologize. I wait till 10:30 when I enable the waiting room and I check periodically, but I'm not upset. That's why we have the attorney coverage. So don't worry about that part. I just want to let you know so you don't sit around because I didn't see your name on anything else in the future. So I didn't want you to, waste your time for lack of a better term.
Yes, Your Honor. I do apologize about that. I do have a legal issue that I would like to raise. Will the court entertain my legal issue?
Yeah, if you want to bring it up now, this is for Amari Brooks, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Your Honor, just to remind you of the facts just really quickly, this is the case where the off-duty Arlington police officer was assaulted and robbed by 4 juveniles.
Correct.
Mr. Brooks is alleged to have been in the back seat and went into the driver's seat, became the getaway driver.
Right.
Those are the facts, and I just would like to remind the court of just a couple of sequence of events. Amari Brooks, I believe, was arrested on January 27th. He had his first initial detention hearing on January 28th. His 10-day hearing that he's entitled to would have taken place yesterday, February the 11th. However, it was rescheduled until today. And the legal arguments that I am presenting to the court today, Your Honor, are in Chapter 54 under the Family Code, judicial proceedings, particularly 54.01, Section H. I'd like to point the court to that section. And if you don't mind me, Your Honor, would you like me to read from that section?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. A detention order extends to the conclusion of the disposition hearing if there is one, but in no event for more than 10 working days. Further detention orders may be made following subsequent detention hearing. The initial detention hearing may not be waived without subsequent detention hearing. And then each subsequent detention hearing order shall extend for no more than 10 working days, except in the situation where there's a county that does not have a certified juvenile detention hearing, which this county actually has one, so we wouldn't fall into that exception. With that being said, Your Honor, I am raising two legal issues relying on that particular section. The first argument would be that the order to detain Mr. Brooks expired yesterday, which was the 10th day, which would have been February 11th, yesterday. Therefore, his detention at this time is an unlawful detention. The second argument that I'd like to raise, Your Honor, is that because he was denied a 10-day hearing yesterday, essentially his rights have been violated by not having a detention hearing. And with that being said, Your Honor, I would ask the court to entertain releasing Mr. Brooks based on this section of the code. We do, I believe, have Mother here. She was the person who you said to mute because she was having problems, I guess, with her phone, but she is available, and I believe Dad is here as well. In Dad's home, I know that there's 2 adults that will be able to supervise Mr. Brooks. His father, who was here at the last detention hearing, and his grandmother. There is one other kid that lives in the household, and that's Amari Brooks' younger sibling. So they will be able to get him to and from court. In addition to that, Your Honor, I believe, let's see, they can get him to and from work. To and from court. He'll be supervised. They are asking for his release as well. So, Your Honor, we're asking the court to entertain his release based on this section.
Sure. Okay. So let's deal with the first part about 6401. And you're absolutely correct. That's what the statute says. Your argument is absolutely correct. Your argument has been presented to the higher courts, and the Supreme Court of Texas has considered that and said that it's permissible to hold the kids further. All right. And that it's really, the analysis was the kid harmed by being here? And not harmed as in, is a harm analysis that it's an unlawful detention and his liberty is deprived, but harmed as in, was he poisoned while he's here, or was he injured, or did he miss medical treatments or things like that? So my understanding of the case law is that the Supreme Court of Texas has said this is a problem with the Juvenile Justice Code, Title III, but they basically said that it's okay. And so if it's a detention past the 10 days, it doesn't qualify an automatic release of the child. So I'll look at it again. But I remember this is one of the first things, like when I first took the job, I freaked out when we got to day 11.
Yes.
And then basically everyone's like, yeah, don't freak out. And then I looked up the case law and it turned out, yeah, don't freak out. It's just the more time that goes by, the worse it looks for me. But the Supreme Court in Austin tends to think that as long as you do it as reasonably practicable, and there's no real nefarious reason, like I'm not punishing a kid by not having hearings, they've given the blessings on doing it. All right. But no, I've had the exact same, that's why I'm like nodding my head. I'm like, yes, I've read it. I agree. But the case law supplements that and says it's permissible. As far as releasing the child, I think, if I remember, yeah, he's level 2. So if he's not level 1, I'm not even considering, especially on an offense like this.
Okay.
And Your Honor, may I add something?
Yes, Mr. Lewis.
Since the fact of Amari's hearing at the start of this docket, I have received an email from a detective with Dallas PD, a copy of a warrant that they have issued. Dallas PD is requesting that if we are inclined to release him, that we permit them to execute their warrant at our facility to transport him to Dallas County Juvenile Detention.
Okay.
Unrelated charges for robbery and retaliation pending in Dallas.
Ms. Smith, do you practice also in Dallas County?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not his attorney on that case, are you?
No, I'm not. Mr. Herrera is his attorney out there.
Okay. I mean, if you want to consult with Mr. Herrera, and if it looks like Dallas County may resolve the case faster than us, I don't know where it's looking here, if it's a trial or not.
Okay.
If it looks like for expediency that Dallas County can actually resolve his case, I can release him. He can take care of business there. we'll issue a DTA so he just gets transported back here whenever he takes care of his business. I don't mind doing that.
Very good. And I'll talk to the court and see if Mr. Herrera wants me to go ahead and substitute in so I handle both cases.
Yes, that'd be good.
Absolutely. As soon as I know something, Your Honor, if it's before the 10-day hearing, did you want me to request that earlier hearing?
No, you don't have to request a hearing on that one. Just let us know. We don't have to have a hearing to release them. We just have to have a hearing if we keep them.
Got it. Okay. And Your Honor, can I raise one more issue for the court? I'm stretching here, Your Honor, and I do apologize. Thank you for your patience.
You know, we're in the presence of the great Mr. Lofton. He defined the idea of stretching.
I just want to donate some money to put a battery in that smoke detector in the background. That's all I care. But yeah, this is a great legal argument. So
okay.
Okay. So I'll get on top of that as soon as I get off of here. I apologize.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was yours. I apologize.
It's mine. Yes.
I never would have said anything. I thought it was Miss Merrick's, or Miss
No,
Barrows.
it's mine. I need a ladder to get up there and change it, so I apologize.
No, I apologize to you, ma'am. You don't know me well enough to know.
No. So, Your Honor, with all due respect, the issue that I do want to raise now that the court has graciously entertained my previous arguments is that Amari Brooks has actually been placed in quarantine. He has not been able to talk to his family, has not been able to, do the other privileges that the other children have had. Now, I understand, Your Honor, that those are simply just privileges. He is not entitled to any of that. But when we're talking about harm, I would like the court to take in consideration that Amari Brooks has been exposed, I believe now, to COVID-19 because somebody in his pod either had it or something where the whole entire pod is now on lockdown. And I've been informed by the detention facility that he will be on lockdown for another, week and a half, give or take. So the harm that I am presenting to the court would be that he's now been exposed to COVID-19. He is being harmed because of that situation. And so I would like the court to entertain that as being a harm that Amari Brooks is facing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this whole COVID thing,
yes,
it's like sometimes life gives you a turd sandwich and your choice is toast or crackers, right? So I just, we're kind of stuck with that. But I know, Mr. Lewis, when does he get out of quarantine?
When I asked earlier this week, I was told it would likely be mid-February, and we're almost to mid-February. So okay. My hope would be next week.
Okay, hopefully. Mr. Lewis can get you a lot more information. My supervision of our detention facility is limited to my role of 1 of 28 on the juvenile board in Tarrant County.
Okay.
So it's not, the court decisions, obviously, it's my discretion, but when it comes to actual detention facility, that's all the district judges and the county judge that we all have one vote on the board.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, Ms. Barrows, I think yours already went too before you're able to get here. I know you're tied up in like a million different counties.
Okay.
So no, you are. You're yeah. Watching your
I'm done.
was impressive. Yeah, Alea Jenkins, she was detained. This was one of the quick time robberies of the Arlington police officer. I think she was. Oh yeah, she was the one that came. One of the ones came out, and she had pending Dallas too, I think, as well. So I detained her for now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrows.
Okay.
Samuel, was it Shimirimana? All right, Samuel, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Lofton is your attorney.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so Samuel, you're not on supervision, but you were here for theft of a firearm last May and burglary of a vehicle, which your cases were pending. Then January 2nd, police met with the victim, cleaning out his car. 2 black males came up. One waved a pistol, and he said no, pulled back the slide, chambering around, and then he complied. They drove off. Police tried to pull him over, car chase.
Is that Samuel or is that
crash,
Jimmy?
hit a pole, wrecked the vehicle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Allegedly, Mr. Inslee, do you mind turning yourself on mute? Thank you. Yeah, so they say you left from the passenger seat, fled on foot, and you were caught, and they found a .40 caliber pistol on the floorboard where you were sitting. And so we let you go, but Judge Porter signed a warrant for you because you failed to appear to court. And so then in May, yeah, that's the case for the one that you had before. So I guess you accused of stealing a gun. We let you out, failed to show up for court. Now you get arrested and you're next to another gun. So for an aggravated robbery. So Samuel, I know you're level 1 outstanding. You have been since yesterday, but you gotta get good behavior and keep the good behavior for me to release you. That's just the way it is. And I think you know that. We don't have a parent here, do we?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So Samuel, I mean, I'm glad you're level 1 now. Keep it up, but you've got to convince me, not when you're kids with guns. That's my thing. That's my jam. I'm real slow to release you guys. Okay. All right. Thank you. Next one is Keith Page.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, we actually had Jimmy here. Did you just not need him at all?
Oh, hold on a second. Did I miss one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy Mugiraniza.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, his attorney, Mr. Youngblood, submitted a waiver, so his detention hearing was waived.
Okay, sir. Give us a second. We got to take the laptop down the hall because that young man's in his room as well.
I understand. We'll be here. Thank you.
All right, sir.
My detention hearing waived.
I have no idea.
And Judge Kim?
Yes.
If I may. The guardian for Keith Page, she was waiting, but she had to log off because she had to bring the companion, the younger brother, into the office for a sweat patch removal.
Okay, no, I understand. All right, Mr. Page, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's in our facility, you have to see a judge every 10 days. And I get to decide whether to release or keep you here. This is the off-duty Arlington police officer at QT. 3 kids came out, and evidently you were driving the vehicle. It was your turn to hit a lick. So stop next to the car, you got out and hit the victim, allegedly. And you are level 3, so I'm not going to release you. You're ordered detained. Thank you, Mr. Page. Jamarian Ramson. All right, Mr. Ranson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a kid's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I'll decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Houston. Dwayne, are you there? You are.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, Dwayne. All right. So,
Your Honor, can I correct something in the report real quick?
yes, sir.
The report indicates that he's on felony probation in Dallas County. That was the original offense, but it looks like it was, upon further inspection, looks like it was pled down to misdemeanor assault BI, for which he's on probation.
Okay, good. So misdemeanor, well, I mean, good is that it's not a felony. Okay. So, Jamarian.
Yes, sir.
And see, December 16th, around 8 o'clock, police were dispatched at Metro PCS for a robbery. And 2 black males stole one customer's purse and the cash out of the register, forced all 3 to the back room, go to the safe, put the iPhones in the safe, and they tracked the phone via GPS. They found the suspects in Cadillac Escalade, found the stolen merchandise, and found Jamarian with a stolen Smith & Wesson .40 caliber handgun. He gave a fake name and date of birth, and when they found out his real name, he was a runaway out of Dallas and on probation out of Dallas. And the other one was a adult, also with a stolen firearm. So, all right. Well, you're level 1 acceptable. So, I mean, you're saying you got to be level 1 extending, or else I'm not even considering it. So I'm going to go and detain you. We don't have a parent here, do we?
CPS is here, Your Honor.
I'm here, Your Honor.
We do? Who?
CPS.
Oh, CPS. Okay. Well, thank you. All right. So, yeah, I'm just, you know, he's got to be level 1 outstanding, especially with a gun case. That's what causes me the most concern. So I think the community requires me to hold him until he can show that he can behave. All right. All right. Thank you, Jamarian.
All right. I can say something.
Well, I don't want you to say anything. If you want to ask me a question, I think your attorney's okay with that. But if you want to tell me something, I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. What's your question?
I'm trying to see what my vehicle is because today it's supposed to be today.
I'm not understanding that. Say that again.
My adjudication hearing.
Oh, so yeah, that may be delayed because yesterday the court was shut down because of the weather. And so there's some other things. Your attorney, Mr. Houston, can you call him and kind of fill him in?
What happened is that the Tarrant County DA's office said they were going to try to do a determinate sentence, and that's what delayed this.
Oh.
And then, yes, I will go over everything with you.
All right.
Did you have other questions, Jamarian?
No, I see.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Raylan Spencer. All right, Mr. Spencer, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Herrick has been hired as your attorney. Good morning, Ms. Herrick.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so Jaqueline, you're here for, I guess, a misdemeanor assault, possession of weed, ag assault, deadly weapon. I guess there was a shooting. Yeah, shot the victim in the leg. And so, well, Jaqueline, you're level 2 acceptable. So you know if you're not level 1 outstanding, I'm not going to release you. You can't waive your hearings. You need to focus on making your attorney's job easier and get you out of here. We don't have a parent here for Jaqueline, do we?
Talked to her. As we've been speaking, I've been talking to her. She was on her way to my office, and her car broke down, so she wasn't able to be here. But she knows about the hearing. She's available.
Yeah, I just have to mark down in my order whether the parent was here or not. Gotcha. Like I have to say whether attorney is here or parent's here. So, all right.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure you know that she's available and willing to take him home. Hey, Jaquarian, I'll call you later, okay? Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Jaqueline. Jaquarian Titus. All right, Mr. Titus, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You're 16 years old. You're level 1 outstanding. You came in 2017 for an evading arrest on foot, which was a supervisory caution. Then, evidently, December 2nd, police pulled over a vehicle on a traffic stop, smelled weed, searched the vehicle, and behind the front passenger seat where you were sitting, they found a backpack with 2 firearms. And you had a warrant because evidently on September 12th of 2020, victim was shot, transported to JPS where he was pronounced deceased. The neighbor gave a description of the vehicle. We found 9mm casings in the street. They reported the vehicle had been driven by the victim's house, fired several shots, which hit the victim and left. Fort Worth PD has a real-time crime center cameras and spoke with the owner of the vehicle. Eventually, they came back to Tommy in the back seat, Trayvon driving, and Decory in the front passenger seat. and which the cameras also showed. And so yes, there's a statement that Tommy and you had shot the victim and you are a gang member. And yeah, you're positive for THC when you came in. All right. So, Mr. Titus, looks like a drive-by shooting. The camera that places you there, I'm very concerned about the safety of the community and safety of yourself as you're releasing. Mr. Taylor, I see you raising your hand. Did you have something?
I just really want to ask the judge to consider his release for several reasons. We're not set in this case until April the 15th of 2021, and that is simply for a status on the certification. The state of Texas just presented this case for a determinate sentence. But as far as the case itself, it's not going anywhere. DeCorian would not go anywhere or do anything wrong. He's had family. We've had several detention hearings. And every time I hear the rendition, I'm thinking uncorroborated co-defendant testimony. I'm anxious for this case to go forward. I'd asked Ms. Blair to provide, I'd been provided back in early December when he was, he's been detained since the 2nd, I believe. I've been provided recommendation letters from Fort Worth ISD educators, teachers, and coaches who've personally coached him and known him since 5th grade, who've stayed in continuous contact with him and his family, and who are actually, the letters in, they're praying for his family. I mean to say, he's got such a strong support network. These folks in the courtroom have been here every time. I've spoken with people on the phone. I have a hard time getting a hold of DeCorian on the phone at the detention facility because there's only a couple phones. And so I'll get emails from the staff saying that he'd like to speak with me, and it'll be a few days before I can get through. And that's due to my schedule as well. I'm not putting all the blame on the detention facility, of course, but there's been many, many times when I've called and I've been told to call back. And I understand that. I'm not the only lawyer. He's not the only client back there. But I'm just saying there's just recently been a lot of discovery open to me on this case. It would assist in DeCorian's defense, and I think it would hinder DeCorian's defense for he to not be able to come into my office and review that. I heard another respondent this morning propose to the court, and I was kind of impressed, a weekend furlough, see how he does. I think at this point with his level 1 outstanding, I believe DeCorian deserves that chance, and I know his family wants him home, and I know the time frame on all this. I understand the court's position about guns.
Yeah,
I respect it very much.
Who's covering for Mr. Kroll?
Donna, this is Selena Aguirre. I'm covering for Officer Kroll.
Covering for everybody today, aren't you? Are you the one JPD officer that can't say no?
Yes.
All right, so Selena, tell me how far, like he just got to level 1.0 January 28th, so less than 2 weeks ago. Where did he come from? Like how far did he drop then?
Your Honor, detention records show that he was level 1 acceptable on the 27th. However, there's no comments listed regarding why he dropped points.
How far did he drop down?
He at one point was at level 3 outstanding. That was level 3 confined. That was back on January 4th. It appears there was a negative peer interaction.
Was it gang related?
It does not specify, Your Honor.
Judge, if I can clear it up, he was level 1 outstanding on January 8th of 2021 from a prior detention hearing report. So if he dropped to on the 4th, he made it up pretty quick back to level 1 in 4 days.
I mean, Ms. Taylor, so my decision right now is, part of me is seeing where you're going with this, and I'm not particularly happy with the district attorney's office. I know they're flooded and they're short staffed. Like, I get that. But it seems, and I know we had this surge of very serious crimes coming in, but it seems like they're seeking these determined sentence approvals really late in the game. It's almost kind of becoming a strategy to just wait before you file those to kind of push things off, which, I mean, they're not doing anything improper. It's keeping kids here longer than it needs to be. So I get that part. My concerned though. I mean, I'm a big concerned this. It looks like it's gang related. It looks like it's a drive-by shooting. And so my concern is if I was to let him go, would there be retaliation either by Decorian or against Decorian? That's where my big pause on this one is, because that could, releasing him could put his family in immediate danger. All right, so that being said, I'm going to pause. Ms. Aguirre, if you can look up, Ms. Taylor, you're welcome to as well, but Ms. Aguirre is really the right point of contact. Find out about the gang affiliations of Mr. Titus and the other co-defendants, I guess, that were in the car. I think they were adults. And also whether his level 3 confined here at Kimbo, the other people involved in the altercation, if they were gang related as well. That's going to be a big fact. Like, I want to know that before I make a decision. I'm not saying it's yes or no based on that one fact. I just want a more complete picture. So if it turns out there's still gang relation activity here at Kimbo, then that does not bode well for your client, Ms. Taylor. But if it's something that has no relation or is completely divorced from any kind of gang activity, then I know I can consider even more. Is that fair enough? Let you know I'm taking it under advisement, considering it, but I'm not comfortable making a promise right now.
I understand, Your Honor. And if I could just speak to the retaliation issue, that's very real concern. And I've spoken with his family. They live in a completely different area from where this alleged offense occurred, where these alleged co-defendants occur. I think the family is in the courtroom and could probably speak further as far as how they can provide the level of supervision to prevent Decorian from doing anything retaliatory, and as to why they're not concerned about
Taylor, I know that within a week after he gets out of here, I'll be watching Decorian on Kentucky Media. Like they'll find him. They'll find him in the mall. They'll find him driving around. Somebody's gonna put it on YouTube or Instagram, and everyone's know where he's gonna live. Like I get how it works, and so I'm worried about, you know, his neighbors or his family members in the house if I was to let him go. But this is Decorian. This kind of result of you running around with the wrong people. Put yourself in the situation, all right? Which may or may not have anything to do with your offense. It doesn't change the fact that, you know, you've affiliated with some people that they're pretty negative people. Okay. But Decorian, I've known your attorney. Shoot, Decorian. Let me check something right now. You are 16 years old. I have literally known your attorney since you were in Pampers. All right. Like that's how long I've known her. If she's asking me to take a second look, I'm going to take a second look. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Fernando Trejo.
I love y'all.
Love you too, baby.
Ask the questions.
Valentine's Day. I love you. It's all these I love yous.
Valentine's Day, Your Honor. I mean, what do you, I mean,
You know, Frank's not even here and it's still his fault.
I said that at the onset, Your Honor. I do blame Frank, and I need to. Was that young lady the attorney? Her name is Lakeisha Smith.
Keisha Smith, yes.
Keisha Smith. I need to call her and apologize because she doesn't know me well enough to. I thought I was ripping on somebody else, and I didn't realize it was her smoke detector. So anyway, very nice. I will do that when I get off this hearing.
Well, as soon as she saw the Lofton, she should have known. That's fair notice.
Some it takes a while. It's like anyway, it's like a bad wine. It's just anyway.
All right. Fernando, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days deciding whether to release you or keep you here. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Adler, had to leave because he had another court to go to. So Mr. Lofton is here. All right, so you're level on standing. You have been since February 12th. Oh, all right. So Mr. Gary, or who's covering for Dana?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dawson, why do you drop down?
Well, Your Honor, Fernando's kind of been playing the up and down game since the 31st. He was level 1 on 31st. The 4th, he got 1 acceptance for major infraction, passing personal information. He dropped a level 2 acceptance the next day for not following instructions, no schoolwork. He got back to level 1 on the 7th, but then on the 9th, got acceptable again for talking off task, no work, and talking to several boys. And then on the 11th, he got acceptable for talking defiant off task, joining class. And then he got back to level 1 this morning.
So it's just a bunch of microaggressions.
Yeah.
Like he dropped down to level 2 just because he like his shenanigans. Like he can't stop being a knucklehead.
Right. That particular day, he didn't do schoolwork. He didn't want to go to school.
Again, dude, knucklehead. Ms. Posada, what's all that noise?
Excuse me?
What's all that background noise?
We don't have nothing. I'm by myself in the room.
No, there's a male voice coming from your room.
Oh, es my other son. Cierra la puerta y cállate.
You just said you're by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Go outside. You cannot be in here. Close the door. Oh, my God. Okay. Yes.
All right, Ms. Posada, where are y'all from? Like, have y'all always lived in Tarrant County?
Excuse me?
Where did you, have you always lived in Tarrant County?
Yes, since I moved to Texas, yes.
What year did you move to Texas?
I moved to Texas, and 2 years ago, there was the last Thanksgiving.
Where did you live before?
Colorado.
Mr. Dawson, did we check interstate to see if you ever had any instances, like contacts with police outside of Texas?
I just checked Dallas County on. I don't see any record that they checked any other state.
No.
Mom, it's the cocaine, right? Like your son's tested positive for cocaine.
Yeah, that's what I see, the charges.
Not just the charges, he's using it. Like,
Remember in the last court that you say that he got a marijuana, cocaine, and I'm not understanding the other substance that he got it in his body.
Fernando, I'm gonna try this one. All right.
Sure.
I'm not really happy with you being a knucklehead, but considering how bad the weather's going to be over the weekend, I'm going to let you go home and let my monitor because I know you can't really run away because you've really got nowhere to run to. You can't head off on foot. So this, I'll let you know, I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up hard because if you go and when you come back in on Tuesday and we give you a drug test, I'm just letting you go for the weekend just to test it out and see how it goes. If you test positive for anything on Tuesday, that tells me a whole bunch of information. If you violate your EM over the weekend, that tells me a whole bunch of, a weekend where nobody can walk around. You have no excuse to be outside. If you're violating that, that tells me everything. Because right now, how serious the drugs are that you're using, the decision is you need to do, there's three choices. Do you need outpatient treatment here in Fort Worth? Do you need to go to placement out of state for drug treatment? Or do you need to go to TJJD for treatment? If you run, that tells me I can't do it here outpatient. I can't put you in placement. I have to send you to TJJD. I could be setting you up for a long, hard 4 years if you make any mistakes. All right? So this is a test. I'm actually giving you a test that if you fail, you're going to feel hard. You understand? So you're given this opportunity, but you know what? If you succeed and do everything right, man, that's a lot of reason for your attorney to argue that you need probation. You need probation no matter what. If you run off, I just can't give you probation. If you use drugs, it's going to be hard to give you probation. If you end up clean, that's a real good argument for your attorney. You see where this ends up?
Yes.
It's up to you. All right, I'm assuming no objections, Mr. Lofton.
No, sir, not at all. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay. All right. Okay, that will conclude detention docket for today. Again, no portion of this broadcast may be recorded, published, or copied. Violations are punishable by contempt of court, up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. Everyone have a happy Valentine's Day and long weekend.
Your Honor.
Yes.
He's supposed to come back on Tuesday.
Yes. Release on EM, come back on Tuesday. I already have a release
Is there a
order.
certain time you want him to come back?
Mom, what's your work schedule?
You know, I'm not working right now, but that means that you're gonna release him today?
Yes, release him today.
Okay, the point is, I'm not in Texas. I have my brother-in-law, he's dying, and I'm in Colorado. But if you're gonna release it, I can drive him back right now, but the soonest I can be there is tomorrow morning.
No, I don't want you driving from Colorado in this weather. That's like a horrible idea. So your brother-in-law, is he dying or he's just really sick?
What happened, he is in hospice. They told us that he's gonna be like 2 or 3 days maximum, no more than that. So that's what I stuck in Colorado because they're releasing to my sister. And but he's dying. Basically, that's why I don't go to Fernando's court because they're releasing him yesterday. So today is already a day.
Okay.
So in the weekend he's gonna be.
Is there another adult here that can take him?
I can ask my neighbor.
No. You don't have any family here.
My other son, he is 18.
Is your other son here?
Yes. But the only thing I'm worried about it because if I'm not there, Fernando, they can get in trouble.
Oh, no. This is my test for Fernando. Like I'm setting him up that if he fails, man, he may be going to prison. If he does great, that gets him good probation. I mean, I'm making it easy for him.
Yes. So what I can do, maybe I can fly.
Your 18-year-old son, he's in school or working?
He's working. He's already have a child too.
No. All right, Fernando, this is your bad luck, right? Had you gotten your level 1 outstanding before, then this conversation may have been different, but there's so many things in life that you just can't control. And the weather is one of them. The timing is one of them. So I'm gonna hold you here now, but after your mom comes back, if you're level 1 outstanding, I'm okay releasing you. I'm gonna give you the chance, okay? I want you to prove to me, that's your way of telling me whether you should get probation or you should get committed or go to placement. So I don't know if I'm doing you a favor or not. I really don't. I'm just trying to get more information about you, okay? So Mom,
what are you thinking, Josh?
So take care of your family business. You have your brother that you have to watch out for. Whenever you come back, just let us know. I'm okay releasing Fernando to you.
Yeah, so I plan to go to be there by Sunday.
Well, then
So
wait.
I can go.
We're closed on Monday, all right, because of the holiday for President's Day. So it'll be Tuesday before we'll let him go.
Okay, so I'll be there first thing in the morning on Tuesday, so you can let him go. So
That's
he's
fine.
gonna be with the income monitor or not?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Nick
thank
Monitor.
you.
And
And
I'm only letting him go for like a week. He doesn't get to stay home.
okay,
I'm just giving him a test to see how it goes. Okay?
okay, all righty.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Make sure.
Thank you.
Yes.